What's up, y'all? Oh man. So I just went to the doctor's blood draw and also I went to my private doctor to talk over my labs. Shit that I it's not like it's not information that I didn't already know. So there we are. It's testosterone, all that shit. Then I had to do a blood draw over at the VA for testosterone. The VA gives me everything. All my meds that I take every day, and then once a week Ozempic, once a week testosterone shot. So the VA provides all that. It's nice to have the double coverage of the private insurance and the VA, but if the VA did a better job, then I wouldn't have to use the private insurance. So anyway, then I drove all the way out to damn near nowhere. It's still La Quinta, but it's on the back roads. Avenue 38, no, Avenue 58 and Madison. I live on Madison, so it's not too far from my house. Anyway, paid a bill. Summertime's here. Our electric bill it gets pretty high. So I made a partial payment to last month's and this month's um, bill. The two bills are combined, so somewhere around $800 for the 2 months. I just made 300, so now I owe 500, which I have an extension till the end of this month to pay it. So, you know, I was talking to the peer support specialist at the VA, Edward, and I'm trying to get on the hundo. The veterans that get 100% disability rating and then get X amount of money per month, so on and so forth. In some cases, some people get 100% not working, meaning that they so the VA pays them extra because they can't work. Whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whatever. And I was talking to one of the girls who works at the VA in Palm Desert. I've known her for years. I feel like decades almost. Yeah, a couple decades. And I've known her for so long that I knew, like when she was dating somebody, I knew who she was, who she married, all that stuff. Um, in fact, me and her were the godparents of uh, Luis's daughter. So anyway, she was telling me about this husband, her last husband that she had, who he wasn't. Also, apparently he went through Marine Corps boot camp, but he left about 2 weeks before graduation. So he didn't graduate. He was never really a Marine per se, right? But when he found out he can get money for being a veteran and have service connected disabilities. Apparently, he pushed and he pushed and he pushed and bothered, a bunch of people who can get him somewhere. And essentially, what ended up happening was he got 100. He was awarded 100% disability through the VA, and I think that's garbage. Because at the end, again, according to my little friend there, and she said he wasn't working, he didn't have anything going on, like he had no place to live. So, that's how her and him ended up dating, and he ended up living in her house, and then they got married, and whatever. Long story short, they got divorced for whatever reason. I don't know, whatever. But he wasn't very humble to begin with. I had a conversation with Johnny, I want to say about a couple weeks ago, maybe more than that. He saw something on TV about Trump and started going off about it, blah, 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 whatever. Somehow it led to we're talking about disability. Johnny, he's on disability. Don't exactly know. I mean, I kind of have an idea of as why. Uh, in my eyes, he's an able-bodied person. He's able to get up, and go to work, and all that. So I don't know. I don't see why he wouldn't need to be on disability still at this point. But whatever. To each their own. He's got his own thing on. He still pays bills and pays rent at home and all this other stuff. Whatever. And it's cool. Like he gets money and whatever, and then he's still able to pick up a job as long as he doesn't make more than what he makes in disability, and you know, whatever. But I always say to stay humble regardless. And then I was told that too by Edward. He's like, when you get 100%, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Be humble. Be humble. I'm like, shit. I'm cool, bro. I don't need to be flashing around fucking money. I don't need a brand new car and whatever else. Like I'm working on my house now, little by little, working on updating my house. So, when 100%, if I were to get the 100% VA rating, that just opens up more doors for me, but it doesn't make me a different person. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't make me a different person. Like I'm not gonna, be out here buying a brand new car, adding a second story to my house and all that shit. I'm not gonna be doing. Yeah, I'm cool. I don't need to do all that. At the end of the day, you got to be humble. You got what you got, so be humble about it. Understand that you know it's a blessing because there are other people out there who can't get to where you're at. All right, some people just can't get to where you're at, and in some cases, some people are on disability. They're taking out more than they put in. Like I'm gonna say this over and over again. There's a lot of women out there, older women, 65 and above, who have not paid into Social Security as much as they're taking out of it. Right? They haven't put in as much in as they're taking out. A lot of these women, they were housewives. Housewives, guys. A lot of these women are housewives. Husband maybe had their own business, or they made X amount of money that they were able to provide for everybody, and the wife didn't have to work. Now the husband's dead, and they got the inheritance, whatever. But then they're also making money on Social Security, getting a you know fixed income from the government, from the state. People like me, I'm still paying into it. I'm paying into disability. The paycheck that you let's say you gross $1,000, but you're netting $900, or let's be realistic, you're netting 800. So the 200 that you're not netting, that you're not taking home, is going to disability, going to SSI, going to what else is that? Going to unemployment, California taxes, federal taxes. Because we earn a paycheck and we get taxed on the paycheck that we've earned. We get taxed on wanting to spend the money that we earned. We get taxed on everything there is in life. Then I also said, I read somewhere where I think I was at a tax office, and it said that Social Security, and it was basically an ad to start a 401k or a Roth's 401k. But basically, it was saying, in 2030, I think it was 2030, that Social Security will dissolve. We'll no longer have Social Security. And then Johnny was like, "Oh yeah, they're supposed to do away with security this year." I'm like, "All right, so as I'm paying into shit, I'm not gonna get shit." Like I said, I pay we our earned paychecks get deducted, or the taxes get deducted to pay for certain things like Social Security, disability, and so on and so forth. So the person who's on disability is going to get more from me than what I'm going to get from me paying into it. And so I looked at Johnny, I was like, and you don't feel bad, do you? You don't feel bad that people like me who are constantly paying into this shit, we're not going to be able to receive what we paid into. Oh yeah, well, it's my money. Sit down and be humble. Then I was like, I bet you taking more out than you put into it. Yeah, and you're proud about that, huh? You know, Johnny always say, "Hey, bro, when are we gonna open our bar? When are we open our bar?" I'm not opening a bar with you. I've said this to him straight up. I'm not opening a bar with you. And right away, I'm like, you just want a place, a bar of your own to sit down at the bar and drink beer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, then why do I need you as a partner? Number one, you're not going to pay into it, but you're going to take out of it. Number two, you just want to sit at the end of the bar drinking your beer. What's the purpose of opening a business if that's all you want to do? I'm not trying to say that Johnny is the only one. There's a lot of people this way, okay? I love my boy Johnny. Love him to death. But there's something about certain people in your life will sit there and just drain your energy, drain everything out of you, drain all this, and they just it's almost like they, like your life is in existence to serve them. Yeah, I just want to sit there and watch, drink beer. That's not a business partner. If I can't rely on you to help me in the business, then why do I need you as a partner? And then on top of that, when I turn 65 and I want to retire from this bar business, I'm not going to have a retirement because there's no more Social Security. So I'm screwed one way, then I get screwed at the end. Now I'm using Johnny as an example because this is the conversations we've been having. If anyone else, I mean, I've had people, hey, we should start a podcast together. And I don't do it. The only person I started a podcast with is Nick. Because I know that I would be putting in too much work. With Nick, it was easy. Like the Kings of Truth podcast was easy. The hardest part about the Kings of Truth podcast is actually finding a way for us to be seen at the same time so I could post it on our YouTube page. That's the hardest part. The other hardest part was I don't have a lot of memory on this MacBook. So like now I have a external hard drive for the PS5, which was total waste of money because the PS4 had an external hard drive. You can play the games off the external hard drive. Whereas now with the PS5, you cannot play the games that you've downloaded onto the hard drive. You cannot play them straight off the hard drive. You have to have a copy of it on the PS5. So it doesn't make sense to have a copy of it on the external hard drive, copy it on the PS5. It doesn't make sense. I got to go buy the internal hard drive that expands what I already have in there. But now I'm thinking, okay, I can use that external hard drive for this MacBook and then get back to making my videos again. But now Nick has a night job. He works from 11 to 7:30 every day. So there's that. Unless we set aside, Sunday mornings or something like that, there's really nothing we could do. But Kings of Truth podcast may come back. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, man. Like I said, y'all, I love Johnny to death. That's my boy. But I need him to work. And I also need him to find a girlfriend and not one who's trying to scam him. Just because she's pretty, that should already tell you what's up. She's pretty and she's out of town and she faking that she's going on vacations when in reality she's still in that one spot you met her at. You got to be humble. I want to say that I'll keep saying it. You got to be humble. Because if you're not humble, then what you say, whatever you say, look, Johnny don't like Trump. I don't understand why, because he can't explain why. But I have an idea. He doesn't. Most people who don't like Trump, anti-Trumpers all over the place. You know why they don't like Trump? Not because of policies. They don't like Trump because of Trump, of his attitude, of his ego, right? When I say be humble, and that dude's not humble. You know what I mean? But he's also a billionaire. Now, I don't. That being a billionaire is not an excuse to be egotistical. No. But if Donald Trump was my friend right now and I was like, oh man, you're very egotistical, you'll probably drop a couple $100 and say, is this an ego? Yeah, it is kind of. But I don't know. It's like, if you come to my house because you got nowhere else to go to hang out and blah, blah, I say, let's go get something to eat. I don't have no money. I'm like, yeah, I'm on. I got you. No problem. We'll go get something to eat. Oh, let's go to Ruth Chris. Let's go get a steak. Be humble. You don't have money, so be humble. Right? I like going to Costco. I like getting Costco pizza, chicken bacon, and a smoothie. I even told my wife yesterday I need to stop getting both the pizza and the chicken bake. Either it's like either or, chicken bake or pizza, not both. So they get really full, and then I don't want to eat. That's like my it makes me feel like I'm on an OMAD, 1 meal a day. OMAD, OMAD, 1 meal a day. and then I end up eating a really small dinner, which I guess is a good thing too. But again, we go to Costco, and I'm literally choosing 3 things, and then this other person chooses 5 things, and I say jokingly, "Is that all?" And you hit another button. For somebody who doesn't have money, you're pushing a lot of buttons. You're pushing my buttons. So call me an asshole. I don't care. Maybe I'm a dick. I don't care. I know where I stand, and I know that irregardless of how I feel about you, if you're in need, I'm gonna be there. And it's part of my humility, right? So many people have been there for me when I needed help. And I'm not the type of person to ask for help. If I can't pay a bill, then I guess it ain't gonna get paid. I'll wait till I get paid next. I'm not the type of person to ask for help because I feel like I'm always gonna be the one helping people, right? I'm always helping people. So what does it look like? The person always helping people is the one asking for help. And it's not even that I don't even think about it that way. I just don't. I just don't ask for help. I don't. It's not a pride thing. It's none of that shit. It's just I don't ever tap into my resources. I don't ever ask anyone for help. When when the school year started and I wasn't getting sorry, it wasn't school year. When the school year ended last June and the district wasn't they weren't scheduling me for anything. And then even the dispatch was like, "Oh, I was told that to direct you to HR." I'm like, "What the fuck? Am I getting fired?" And it just kind of find out they weren't trying to schedule me because I was about to leave the Philippines, right? But a coworker of mine, Nick, works at Rancho Mirage High School, and Nick was like, "Hey, man, if you need something, let me know, or just if you need something, just ask." Is what he said. Just ask. I'm like if I need to borrow money, he's like, "Yeah, whatever you need, just ask." I still never asked. I'm like, "Thank you, I appreciate that. I appreciate the you know the gesture, but I'm okay. I'll make it work. I don't like to borrow money. Um, when you owe someone, that's a debt. When Johnny asked to borrow money, I said, "Yeah, yeah, well, here you go. I'll pay you back next week." "Yeah, yeah, I trust you." Johnny and I know, a couple other people know how that went. But regardless, gotta be humble. Egos, my ego is at the door. I don't really give a shit about egos. People do, not me. Anyway, y'all, I just wanted to talk about that. I was just thinking about that on in the car on the way home. If I get 100% VA disability rating, uh, I'm I'm gonna be the same person. You know who's not gonna be the same person? My wife. Hmm. If I make $3,000, my wife and I both make $3,000. Does that make sense? Oh man. Well, it's currently what time is it? 12:46. Who texted me? 12:46 on Wednesday, October 16th. Both of my dogs are on the couch taking a nap, and I think I'm gonna take a nap too. Thanks for watching. And like I said, stay humble, y'all. Just stay humble. You know, not everybody's a superstar. And a lot of people want to say they're superstars just because their ego's like this fucking big. If your ego's this big and what you have to show for what you've earned, right? If all you have to show for it is this small, then you should probably your ego shouldn't get any bigger than this. I can't stand that when people have this big fucking ego and what do they got to show for it? That's like Nick's cousin. Nick's cousin got an ego this fucking big, and the dude's only like this high. You know what I mean? And he's only this high because of the dreads. His ego's this big, and his body odor is this big, but he's this small. And honestly, at the end of the day, what do you got to show for it? An apartment you can't pay for. You ain't got no car. You keep banking on the same job that fired you once already. You're not going to get a raise. And then on top of that, you keep telling people that you're a manager and you're not. For me, it's neither here nor there. I don't give a fuck. But if you ever see me out in the street, don't ever ask me for a ride. Remember how you were not humble and talking shit to my face. You know, acting like, oh, the pain. We were talking about CBD. I think one time he was asking about CBD. I'm like, well, a lot of people think it helps them with their pain, and I don't. Obviously I see you don't go through much pain. He's like, I go through pains of being a black man in America. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Anyway, kind of hungry. Had a protein shake, but I don't know. I'll find something to make in the house. Salmon. Some steamed salmon. Anyway, y'all, peace out.